It was a gun.
I'm not voting.
If we want to build our nation.
The problem with the Somalians.
Just want to experience something else than a black man.
Move on, move
Can't be like
forward.
a horse with blinkers on.
Honestly say, I was about to have
Corrupt
sex and then I pulled
crap,
up.
but it's nice.
Hello, my name is Jeremy Acton. I'm the leader and founder of the Dagga Party of South Africa, and I was a plaintiff in the Constitutional Court case that won the privacy rights to use cannabis in South Africa.
Hi, I'm Kanita Booley. I'm a cannabis activist based in Cape Town, Western Cape, South Africa.
Hello, I'm Hajila. Good to meet you.
Well, hi there. Good afternoon. I'm Basil Otter. I want to speak about some recreational cannabis today.
Ahoy, I'm Tom LaRue. I'm from Somerset West. I'm a cannabis activist and I started to trade informally with the good green stuff and I help a lot of people.
The first time I attempted was, I think I just broke out of primary school. I was in high school. And I bought a little 5 rand parcel from the backyard. Guy living in this, what do you call him, little dwelling, you know, guy works in garden, stays in the backyard. So like you always smoke, I smell it. My dad mentions Dagga, so I come to you now in search of Dagga, you know. So please help me. I don't know where to find it. I don't want to, you know, I want to see how it looks like. And I examined this plant and I was fascinated by the smell of it. And I crushed it up and I started there smelling it. Initially, I think I threw it over my bed. Like all crushed up. I didn't think it's going to go into the thing, so I was like straight everything out afterwards, but the aroma, you know. So the initial joint was a big thing like that. Nobody learned me, you know. So it's like telephone paper. Okay, cool. I'm sure it was like a little bit in. So initially it burned back and poof, it just caught a big flame. So now I kill this stuff. Let's go educate myself, you know.
But my first time was like, man, I was floating. I was walking
What
on
were you
top.
doing? What were you
After
doing?
smoking, like
no, like how did you acquire the joint? What were you doing?
Oh no, I have friends in the hood that smoked before.
Okay.
So it wasn't hard to like, and also I just didn't smoke it because it was available. Like I just wasn't smoking for a long time.
Okay.
While my friends already smoked by that time.
Okay.
You know. But when I now tried it, then it's about, you know, like you're walking home, so you're floating and feels like the tribe, and I'm like, the cars, what's going to happen? What's going to happen?
Now, actually, I have like many first experiences with cannabis. So the first one would be I think I was maybe like 9, knowing that this is something prohibited, I couldn't touch it. And I went to my friend's place. And there's this plant, you know, just this, we didn't even know if it was Dagga. My friend's like, I think it is. So we pull leaves off it. We're like, okay, how do you dry it? We stuck it in between a phone book, pressed it down, like trying to absorb this, put it in the oven. Anyway, this concoction came out. We also rolled it in like newspaper or whatever. It didn't work. We're like, okay, well, I don't know if that was the right experience, but anyway, that was one. The second one was in the teenage years where now it's a socially cool thing to do. So you tend to like, you know, try here and there, and it was more a social thing. The third time was the most important time for me, was when I identified medicinal smoking versus what I was doing before. And it came in with identifying certain strains for whatever. So I came to learn about cannabis through my depression diagnosis.
The first experience can knock you out, or you can look down upon it and go on, and then the next time, then you are floating. But the first experience it's horrible for everyone. It's horrifying, because what it is you are coming into this realm where, because the weed takes you into another space, which is more into yourself. But if it's your first time and you don't know this, right, it takes you into a space that you haven't been, so you also don't know how to
deal with the situation.
Exactly. You go into the space, and in that space, firstly, you have to move from where you relate to or your family and go to another place to smoke, and you look back on the world when you're sitting in a place like that, and you find a place in the world because of the prohibition where you're outside of the world while you smoke, and you look at your world. And sometimes while you're sitting there, you can think of better ways to do things. And this planet is actually like, these humans are crazy. Why are they doing it like that and that? And you get ideas, and then you realize you have a knowledge of a better world through using cannabis.
The scary part is about, is this feeling gonna go? Right? Am I gonna come out of this? This is the mental thing people are talking about, that you go mental. Shit, so now I'm actually, okay, I am actually gonna go mad. So do I come out? Does it finish?
I think,
you know what I mean?
yeah.
So it's on. So that's very scary. Like, so for a lot of people, that's the part where they're just like, okay, this thing, man, I won't touch it. First time I smoked, it was like that.
For me, cannabis really is a staple in my daily diet because my mental health also needs to be fed. I acknowledge the benefits that it gives my endocannabinoid system, and those are things that need to be spoken about more in our society to decrease the amount of paranoia, because you're only paranoid about smoking that joint if you have a preconception about smoking the joint.
They always make a big issue of paranoia and schizophrenia. And my feeling is, and that's what Professor Nat also said in the trial of the plant, is that it's nonsense, because the simple fact that in countries where cannabis is used a lot, against countries where cannabis is sort of not used at all, the percentage of the it's the same. It stay the same. It stay 1% and 1%.
This is, for me, the herb, the cannabis, the herb, the weed. Yeah? This is what I call it, the miracle herb. Yes. This is how I look at it. You know? It's like, it does what you quest for it. You have to have some sort of quest, like a feeling or a wanting of, like, say, you want to work hard, you know, you say, let me smoke and, work. You want to stay up, let me smoke and stay up. You want to sleep, let me smoke and sleep. You got pain in the back, let me smoke and, chill my back. I'm building, let me smoke and, I want to study, smoke and, see, I want to be happy, smoke and be joy. So it's a miracle herb because it does what you quest, but you must know what you actually want from it. You know, that's why then they say it's a meditation herb. But it can also make you fly if you quest for it, fly, depending how far away your thoughts. So it's about also how strong your mind and what you want from it.
I have to take cannabis, and I have to go back in social history as well quickly, and I look at Hinduism. And they relate to the plant as a sacramental plant. So the plant reveals yourself to yourself at that moment. And being in the spiritual realm, that's a very chill holy grail round to Rastafarianism, if you understand it. So going into a relationship on the spiritual level, it's so much more pleasing. So obviously the sex and the cannabinoids, it's in there. It's medicine, and it's a sensation you have through the body that you cannot explain. It might prolong it, it might not prolong it. It has not been proved, but I'd like to prove it.
Cannabis causes your body to release oxytocin, which is the love, trust, relating, mother's love for children hormone, breastfeeding hormone. And oxytocin builds trust and empathy amongst people. So cannabis firstly gets things going by at least building a way of relating, a common ground, perhaps even between different worlds of two different people. And it operates multiculturally as well, which is the danger to the system.
Another interesting viewpoint to look at it is yes, there's that physical element of satisfaction in that state. That's anybody that's done it, and we're all humans, it happens. It's enjoyable. I'm a mother. I believe my second child was conceived because of a cannabis moment. But there's always the other aspect of looking at it. My cannabis, and I did that whole pregnancy cannabis. So I took no pharmaceutical anything. I just consumed cannabis, and I have a very healthy baby girl today.
But cannabis can be consumed in THCA. You don't always have to take it in the Delta 9 form.
I think like in sexuality, there are other herbs that should be added to the cannabis, because that's a whole aspect of human experience that is very Calvinistic in its ways, and certain gender roles are expected in certain cultures, and it's just like it all impacts on what beings are we. And there's a lot of rape in this country. If it can actually rather take out the anger out of cannabis can take the anger out of society, so that instead of you seeing rape statistics out there, you're actually seeing less domestic violence, more stable relationships.
Well, so if you smoke cannabis, you have 1,001 thoughts about what you are going to say now. And you are 100% sure that is what you want to say, because that is what cannabis does to your brain. You can sit there and you can have
articulate what you would like to say and like sort of edit it before it actually comes through. But that ties into communication, don't you think?
But you know, there's always the challenge.
Subject.
I say cannabis is like it's food for the soul, food for the spirit, because the way we are structured, we are like physical, we are flesh and spirit. For people for us to operate, to be a human, you know. But so there's things that we feed to the physical, you know, to the flesh. Then there's food that we feed to the spirit, which becomes cannabis is also part of that. Music is part of that. Love is part of because the spirit is the way we look after our flesh is the same way we should look after our spirit. You know, it's 50-50. You know, for us to operate on this, because also we see that the flesh can perish. 100 years, you're dead, it's on the ground, but the spirit is infinite.
In the cannabis situation, in terms of relationships and sexuality, there is also the relationship where the one is the stoner and the other one just isn't.
Yeah.
Okay, and that adds a whole difference to the relationship in the time you spend away having your puff and your quiet time. Perhaps it's and the other person has other different values. And I've been in a relationship with someone for 30 years who doesn't use cannabis, and I consider relationships with people of value, however it may manifest, but I always seem to come up against the non-smoker. So like the cannabis relationship is something I actually haven't reached after 30 years of still smoking.
Right.
Okay.
Well, me too. It's a very similar setting, and it's also like, okay, well, I've smoked with my partner before, but it's
which is positive for the decriminalization, because a lot of people didn't get into it because it's crime.
Yeah.
So they were looking at you like I'm going out with a criminal.
Yes, I get that.
Put it down. They can't even want to test it. You don't even want to test it because you become a criminal. That's what we were. We were criminals. You know.
My dream is that cannabis, the wonder plant, will be used for its full potential, and in every aspect comes to its full right, and it will really alleviate problems in our country.
My dream is to see a cannabis planet where humanity uses cannabis as a resource and the planet is a healthy planet.
My dream is to see my kids live in a sustainable economy.
My dream is for people to tap into themselves, see the art in themselves, and bring out the art, and smoke some cannabis so you can help yourself tap into yourself and create.
My dream is to live a green dream. You know, I want to eat ganja, I want to sleep in the fabric of ganja, I want to bath in ganja, I want to everything must be ganja, from back to front.
Yazi, you should ever sit and talk with people, or else take a walk and create a straight talk. Talk what is nice, it will make you feel stronger. Listen what is right and say what is wrong. You should ever sit and talk with people, or else take a walk and create a straight talk. Talk what is nice, it will make you feel stronger. Listen what is right and say what is wrong.